The use of remote learning has been a learning experience for both students and their teachers this spring. And while the system still presents challenges for engaging students, educators are expressing more confidence of using the tool if needed this coming fall. I took a closer look at the pandemic-driven innovation of recent weeks in Western Montana's largest school district.
When Governor Bullock closed schools as a health precaution in mid-March, it sent educators scrambling, closing campuses, handing out Chromebooks, and coming up with ad hoc ways to distribute lessons. Now, with the school year winding down, teachers, students, and parents are taking a deep breath. Generally, the hasty innovation is being deemed a qualified success.
One thing we know is that, we're not hitting every kid. I think the engagement level last time we looked was somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 85%. At some of our schools, it's much higher, and some of our schools a little lower, but that's the average. So what we do know is all the efforts we currently have, we're still not engaging every kid.
MCPS administrators, teachers, and the school board have continued active discussions throughout the spring and the pandemic pause in regular classes. They've shared examples of students, young and older, who were able to bridge the difference between digital and physical learning. Some actually improved out of class, and teachers were keeping notes on what worked.
We've learned some really good skills that we can use next fall, because we will have a portion of kids that likely can't come back to school for a variety of reasons. We may have some teachers that can't come back. And so figuring out how to marry those two groups and continue some sort of remote learning experience will be important in the fall.
The concern is not just what classes might look like in the fall, but what happens if there's another surge of the coronavirus.
In addition, when our teachers do come back in the fall, we'll be talking to them about getting some of these things set up on day one, so that if we do have to close down in the middle of October, that we can move right to remote learning.
What do you think? Will we see some kind of a hybrid model of a variety of tools here, do you think, in the fall?
I do think so. I think coming back in the fall won't be a traditional school start, if I had to predict it. I think what we might be looking at is smaller groups, could be an every other day type of thing, where we have only half the kids in on one day and then the other half on the next day. I think that schools are already exploring some of those models, so I wouldn't doubt if we're going to be doing the same thing here.
The district facing the possibility of having to continue at least some remote learning. MCPS wants to hear from parents about their experiences and suggestions. You can participate in an anonymous online survey until June 15th. We have the link on our website.